Very good morning. A very good morning, all. This is our third partner quarterly update. We have a very nicely and packed agenda, so let's quickly go through the agenda as we speak. First of all, welcome all. I hope you all had a fantastic break over the summer period. And as we all know, everybody is super busy today, so thank you for making your time available in this webinar. Because it's quarterly end, and that's quarterly end not only for nShift, but also for you guys closing your quarterly business for all your customers. This session will be recorded, so this is for future references for partners that couldn't make this session and for colleagues of yours that want to later on look at this presentation. There's a Q&A section at the bottom of the webinar. We normally work with Teams. This time we work with Zoom. So there's a chat function at the bottom, and there's also a Q&A. So you can leave your questions already for later on at this event in the Q&A, and you can have a chat with ourselves during the time. Agenda for today is we're going to talk a little bit about our professional services and how we are enhancing and enrolling that further out over the year 25 and 26. I'm going to take care of some of the partner program highlights. We have our colleague of marketing talking about partner marketing events that we've done and other enhancements. And then we have a session for Q&A. Your speakers of today are, first of all, myself. I'm Jerome Terhagen, responsible for VP Strategic Channels and Ecosystems within nShift. I have with me today Marie-Christine, based out of Ireland. She's taking an SVP role in professional services. And then we have you, John, our partner marketing and regional marketing executive. Hey. Marie-Christine, the floor is yours to talk a little bit more about our driving TTV, and you probably have to explain exactly what you mean with TTV. So
thank you, Jeroen, and thank you for that introduction. Lovely to meet you all virtually, although I can't see you. Hopefully you can see me okay. Marie-Christine is my name. I am based in Cork in Ireland, down south. I started with nShift in the role of SVP of Professional Services actually 15 months ago today, I think. It has been a very interesting journey since joining nShift, and we've been driving transformation ourselves within our professional services organization, while our customers are relying on us to drive transformation as well. A little bit about me. My background is in software engineering. So I started as a Java engineer and I specialized in my master's in cybersecurity. Now, the reason that that's important to mention is that the relationship that we have and you have with our customers is quite technical in nature. We have to understand the technical complexities of their own infrastructure, the WMS, the OMS, the customer management systems that they're using, the carriers that they're also working with, and the technology or the technology maturity of the carriers that they're working with. And then we are that bridge in between. So it's very important that in our professional services organization, we understand how to navigate that. Now, what I'm talking to you about today is driving TTV. As Jeroen has said, let me explain what that means. TTV is time to value. And when you're operating in a SaaS environment, it is very, very important that you're able to measure that in terms of days and weeks, not months and years. And when we focus on time to value and having the shortest path for implementation, it's about giving the customer clarity with their options so that if time is of the essence, because oftentimes they have their own internal milestones that they're driving to, then we need to help them make the right choice for them. Now, if we can do that, we're going to improve the value that we deliver to the customer. It's clear up front, the timeline is clear, and we help them hit their milestones. That helps them to be happy with what they've gotten from nShift, and then ultimately we want to retain them. So what I'm going to share with you here is the nShift PS implementation efficiency rating. Now, every customer is different. They all have different complexities, like I mentioned, in terms of their technical setup or the technical maturity of the carriers that they're working with. And it's our job as their advisors to help them navigate that. Now, if this graphic looks familiar, that's intentional. You no doubt have seen this energy efficiency rating on the side of your washing machine or your cooker or the latest appliance that you brought into your home, maybe a new TV. And it's intentional because we need to remember that depending on the choices the customer makes, their implementation can be quite complex. Now, at the top end, there is self-serve. And we have our delivery product that is our book and print that is the easiest for our customers to self-serve. When a customer wants a little bit of hand holding, they don't want to entirely go it alone, they can get training services. This is something that we've been developing in-house throughout this year, and we're getting ready to launch this, our first modules before the end of the year. No doubt we'll be back to talk to you more about that. It's the level C standard package that I'm here to talk to you about today. Those are the most efficient way for a customer with PS dedicated support to get them live. And there's a few things that we've been implementing in our process to make that as efficient as possible. Now, for completeness, I'm going to just go through the other levels in this rating. As the customer moves away from standard packages, it might be because there's new services that the carrier has added. In this world of focus on home shopping and home delivery, the carriers are trying to compete in their own market. So who knows, there may be drones that are added as a service, and we have to think about how we handle that. When you start getting into the more complex transformations that our customers could be driving, like they could be replacing their OMS or their WMS, now you're really starting to get into custom implementations. We develop new carriers, that's what the perk refers to, it's a product enhancement request, or we develop features for the very, very large customers that they are helping to develop out our product. So for today, we're going to focus on the standard packages, the most efficient when they have a dedicated PS implementation. When we're driving time to value, it's important to understand the customer journey. Every customer starts by a pre-sales conversation with you, our partners, or with our sales team, and they are being guided through the choices they need to make before they switch over to an nShift capability in their environment. They'll go through different stages of first being onboarded, implementing, getting into business as usual, adopting our capabilities within their org, looking at how they can optimize and expand, hopefully advocate because they've had such a positive experience, and then they want to get to renewal. Now, for time to value, we're going to focus on these two stages, the customer onboarding and the implementation. With every new customer, they need to have a positive experience with that time to value. And we measure it in terms of days from the moment the implementation starts to the date that the project closes. Now, whatever the customer decides to take within that first phase of effort, it does represent the value that they need in their org. Now, the later stages of adoption, optimization, advocacy will absolutely be there to help them through those stages, but those tend to be the existing customers. It's important to call out, though, at this point that we want customers to have as efficient an implementation first time round and put expansion and optimization to a later phase. Let's focus on getting them live as quickly as we can. To do that, what we've had to implement within the professional services organization is a standard approach for each product implementation, the happy path. What can we do in a set amount of time to deliver value to the customer on this particular product? Now, in Q4 last year, we reviewed and launched our standard package offerings for all of our products. But that's not the only thing. That is the first thing we need to have defined. The second thing we need is the guidelines for the consultants to follow so that it is repeatable. We also need a way to measure the KPIs that drive time to value and we need an ability to automate where we possibly can. So what that looks like in more detail, our standard packages all have this same look and feel. And when we launched them, again with efficiency in mind, we made sure that these documents could stand alone as a statement of work. There was a lot of time that we were spending in detailed requirements discussions, back and forth with the customer, statements of work that had to be documented, reviewed, edited, round and round we went until we got a signature. Now, that's not a great experience for the customer and for you, our partners or sales teams. We wanted this package to be ready to go. This is what you've got, all of what's included, and the traditional terms and conditions of a statement of work. That is in those standard packages today for every product that we have. The second, and I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail on another slide, we needed to put consultant guidelines right in front of them in the application that they are using every single day. I don't know about you, but my experience in standard processes and standard ways of working is someone creates this standard operating procedure. It looks really nice. It goes up onto a central location like SharePoint, and then it never gets looked at again. The consultants don't use it every day. Let's be realistic. We needed it to be in the place that they were doing their work every single day. Wrike was the product that we chose to work with. It is a collaboration tool that we have project management, we have standard operating procedures within it in detail, and we also have collaboration with chat. The third element was managing the KPIs. As I mentioned within Wrike has the professional services capabilities that we were able to utilize from a project management perspective. So what is the start date? What is the end date? What were the planned project hours? Making sure that we've got a focus on the budget for what the customer has signed up for and managing that effectively with the customer. In the nature of the work that we do, it is very easy to go off-piste. And we need our consultants to focus on delivering the value for that initial implementation. So we needed it right in front of them every day. We also wanted to automate where possible. We did have disconnected applications across different functions in the business. And what we did with Wrike was we integrated with Salesforce. So as soon as our sales colleagues close an opportunity that has a PS attached to it, it automatically comes into our backlog. Prior to that, there was far too many email and Teams discussions to make sure that we were clear on what had been sold. It was quite manual. That now automatically comes into our backlog. We also use Workato, which is an iPaaS tool for Wrike, where we can write logic in the background that helps to drive this automation. I won't nerd out on that too much. Anyone who's interested in finding out about more about that, we're happy to have a follow-on discussion. So what I'm showing you here is directly in Wrike, we were able to create blueprints for every product implementation that we have. What you're seeing here as an example is Transmart. So within our packages, we have an essential, professional, and premium offering, and they run over durations of between 7 and 8 weeks, and they have a budget of between 6 and 16 hours of effort to run them. So they're quite short. 6 to 16 hours of effort, you're probably looking at it thinking, surely that could be done in a shorter time frame. Surely we could do that in just 1 week. Not necessarily, because we're relying on the customer, and we have to guide the customer through some key decisions up front before we can ever do the implementation. Now, the example I wanted to call out here is if a consultant takes a project that has been assigned to them, the project plan has already been designed. As soon as this is sold, it pulls the blueprint from Wrike automatically, puts it into the live projects, and when the consultant is assigned, the date starts from when the project starts. So already they have a project timeline, which can also be shared with the customer through an external link. So we're giving them that transparency and trust. The benefit for the consultant, though, is each one of these tasks, when they open them, they know what effort is required for that task, what the duration is. So you can see in this example, they have a duration of 5 days, but it's really only 15 minutes. And this is for the setup of the account. There may be details they need from the customer before they can do this. You can see the level of detail as well in each task. My leadership team have been able to design the repeatable steps that make this as efficient as it possibly can be. And it helps the consultants as well that they don't have to remember all of these steps. It's always there for them when they open their work every day, the task that they're going to do at that time. So that has really helped to drive an enormous amount of efficiency internally. And that's what we can directly control. What can we not control? It's the customer, and the customer being clear about the information we need to have an efficient implementation. So what I'm going to focus on here is in that customer journey, the customer onboarding phase, just that piece of them closing on an agreement with you or our sales team and getting oriented on what they're going to do with PS. So we've brought in automation here to drive as much efficiency as we possibly can. But true to any journey or any effort that you do, the first step is always the hardest. Get that motivation, get going. Once you're up and going, you can move quickly. But the first step for us every time is obviously the carrier information. So we need to know from the customer, who is your carrier? Do you have an agreement? Do you have your login? Do you know what services you're going to use? What geo are you planning to operate in? And believe it or not, do you have an account with this carrier before we start? I can't tell you how surprised I was many times reviewing our implementations and finding that one of the reasons that the customer was delayed is because they started to implement, but they didn't even have an account with this carrier yet. So those are the types of questions that we need the customer to give to us in advance. And we don't want to waste a lot of human effort doing that. So how are we doing it? I mentioned already that we've automation in place that when something is sold in Salesforce, it automatically comes into our right backlog. We count that as week 0. By week 1, we are sending the customer an introductory email reminding them that we need to gather this carrier information ahead of the kickoff. Now, for the customer, this is what it looks like. So we're welcoming them to the nShift Professional Services team. We're looking forward to getting started with them. But right in the middle is step 1. Please click on the link to get started. Now, when they click on this link, this is a sample that I'm showing you here. It guides them through step by step. What is your name? What is your email address? Can you tell us some of the logistics for this implementation? Who's the carrier? What's the service? And a link out to the nShift website where they can pick their own from that existing list. Do you have an agreement in place with this carrier and service? A very important time-wasting question if we don't get that up front. Are there changes to your printer type? Are there specifics around your label size that we need to be aware of? And then what about your project team? Who are your stakeholders? Who are your sponsors? What is your go live date? And do you have any blackout periods that we should plan around? Now, when the customer sends that information into us, we will hopefully have everything that we need. If we do, we can move to start the implementation. If we don't, we have to send the customer another reminder. So this email is either one of two things. Either we're thanking the customer for everything that they've submitted, here's the next steps on how we're going to get started, or we're reminding them that we've got details that are missing. If they do have details that are missing, it delays it another bit, but at least we're communicating with the customer. We then assign their PM or technical consultant, and then we do our kickoff meeting. So those are some of the changes that we've made to automate in the customer onboarding. Now, in this world of AI, we're all talking about what AI can do to drive efficiency. And we've made some enhancements that I wanted to share with you today. I know that everybody is in their own AI discovery journey. We're all trying to figure out what is this thing, much like cavemen discovering fire. What can we do with it? What can we play with? What else can we make more light or efficient within our day-to-day work? So what I will preface this by saying to you all is my advice to you, depending on where you are on your AI journey, is number one, remember where it came from. The journey of digitizing all of our processes over the last number of decades has resulted in an enormous amount of data that is available in servers and endpoint machines and laptops all over the world. And the first thing that AI can help you with is a more sophisticated query of that data. So that is one of the first places to get started. So if you have a mass of data and you take something like ChatGPT and point it at that data, instead of it being a public ChatGPT pointed at the internet, it can be a private ChatGPT implementation pointed at your own data. It gives you much natural language that you can query that data, and it's much more intuitive for humans. You no longer need a developer to write SQL statements that would have come from a static database. That's my first tip when you're using it. When you start using it, who knows the use cases that you can figure out from there. Specifically for nShift, though, where we've started using this is we are using ChatGPT to enhance email communication. We're working in Europe. We have multiple different languages. We do have to communicate with a lot of our customers in English because that is the common baseline for everyone to understand each other. But it is not the first language for everybody. So it is a help that ChatGPT can enhance those email communications. A lot of them have to be ad hoc. It saves time in peer-to-peer review or manager to direct report review. We've also enhanced our documentation. We've had some documentation that has evolved over years, might be quite lengthy, not easy to interpret. So we've used ChatGPT to find where we can succinctly summarize our documentation. We also use Copilot in our meetings where the transcripts that would normally have been recorded in an application like Teams is now summarized through AI, where it can tell you the main points of the meeting and, more importantly, capture the actions. We're rolling that out to our customer meetings now as well, which means that the consultants can copy those into their tasks, focus on the conversation at the time with the customer, knowing that Copilot is taking care of the actions that they need to perform. We also have used it to enhance our code generation and our debugging abilities for carrier and config. Now, this has come from a custom solution that we have developed in-house so that we can save time not only with our consultants, but also with our carrier team. Prior to this, we had a lot of manual effort finding the relevant files, finding the relevant definition files for the carrier connections, being able to create test cases for what that connection represents. And I can tell you that what previously took hours of effort has now decreased to minutes. That is a 90% reduction in our effort that we've seen overall. And those are the pieces that are usually hard to predict because you don't know when they come up. We've also reduced the time to create training assets. So like I mentioned about the training services that we're now developing, we're using a product called Synthesia that allows us to create those assets up front, but the ongoing maintenance is the real benefit. We can chop and change in specific points and be ready to publish again. What we're in progress using AI to further improve the implementation phase, we've started our journey similar to what I'd advise you if you haven't already started, but now we're looking into other use cases. So we want to look at more complex code or configuration that we could do faster. Right now we're doing resolution of issues. We also want to automate the test generation for verifying carrier connections, and that's to help our customers as well, where a lot of them maybe haven't done validation in a formal way before or haven't done user acceptance testing. How can we better guide them? We found that that was a blocker in the past where too many late breaking changes would come out before go live, and oftentimes it was down to the preparedness of the customer or the quality of the test cases that they were running. We also are looking at developing agentic-based tracking of our project deliverable status. So what does that mean? Agentic meaning that you have just an automated connection with the human who is typing in questions to find out, based on all of the project documentation, where is the project at? What are the blockers? What are the next steps? Much like our ChatGPT capabilities in the intranet, it is prompt engineering to allow a wide variety of stakeholders to get a project status. And lastly, because we're in a consulting environment, every consultant has to log their time for their billable hours, but for all of their other activities as well outside of direct customer contact. And being able to analyze those data from that time tracking is hugely valuable, where previously we would have had to export to Excel and do a lot of custom calculations. So I look forward to being able to share further updates with you. We're on a transformation journey ourselves, and we want to make sure that we're sharing these insights with you. If you'd like to have a follow-up conversation, either about how to apply these yourselves to your own implementations, or to talk to us about selling the PS standard packages on behalf of nShift, we're happy to talk further. So, Jeroen, that's it from me.
Thank you so much, Marie-Christine, for that, and great highlight. Indeed, if we have more questions later on, ping me or ping Marie, or there's going to be some email addresses later on to be shared for you to follow up. I want to quickly touch upon some partner program highlights. We've accomplished quite a couple of things over the last quarter, first half of the year. Firstly, you're all aware of our certification program, and I can gladly tell you that we have 4 new certified partners in our network. We have Extension IT, Oscar Software, Cefeo, and Monitor ERP. This time they are a little bit more Nordic oriented, with Extension IT based out of Denmark. They are specialized with their ERP software in Microsoft Business Central. They're not only focusing on the Nordics, but also extending slowly into the rest of Europe. So congratulations on your certification. Oscar Software is also an ERP solution based out of purely Finland. They are connected to our nShift delivery system, and so welcome to the certified family as well. Cefeo, ERP system, but then in this time also based on Microsoft, but then Dynamics 365. And they have a connection made with both delivery and our ship product. And last but not least, we have Monitor ERP, from originally based out of the Nordics, but looking into expansion into the German market. We are fully supporting them with that as well, having for the next month already a couple of events that we're going to co-present to their customer base. So really cool and very much welcome to the family. If you're now listening into this conversation and you think by yourself, wait, I want to become also a certified partner of nShift and all the benefits that are connected to that, ping us a mail to partnersupport@nshift.com, and by all means, we are more welcome to pick you up in our system. We have a dedicated certified person in our team for that. Iris is her name, and she will pick up the conversation with you on that one. The last time we talked about the certification and the implementation of our new checkout. We call it in-house the Checkout 2.0, the enhanced version. And we have some cool news, because the last time that we talked, we only had Lithium as one of our partners, as one of the first, if not the first, being fully certified with Checkout 2.0. We have now 4 more new partners. Custom out of Sweden, Aventia out of Norway, Svensk Handel, also Sweden, and Gratitude out of Sweden. Some of you might know them. Custom is the checkout version of the old Klarna system. They deviated from the PSP service and are now having a full own checkout solution. Aventia is a Norwegian e-com platform and consulting firm, and we worked together on a customer called Vito.no, which they used the Checkout 2.0 for, and are very happy with that. Svensk Handel, as most of you know, is a platform organization that is using our checkout, and Gratitude is a software development firm that working on various elements in the Nordics on the checkout enhancements. We have some of them lined up for early Q4. They're not completely ready yet. So we have Crocodile, Bluemint, Norse, and Wally. Wally is a famous PSP in the Nordics. Norse is a SaaS platform for digital commerce based out of Gothenburg. Bloomint, again, a software company and development specialized in Adobe Commerce, Magento, WooCommerce projects. And Crocodile is also a development and consulting platform out of Sweden. So all of them, very glad that we have you now on board with our new checkout, and hopefully we're going to see a lot of good potential customers coming towards both yourselves and ours for this complete new solution of ours. 3 more partners I want to mention on a specific note, and the reason for that is that with these partners we are expanding out of the normal, let's say, the born and bred territories of nShift. So we're very strong, always been in the Nordics and in the Benelux region. These customers and these partners are specifically in the DACH and UK markets. So MS Direct, they are specialized in 3PL custom clearance, and they can make it happen to get products in and out of Swiss, UK, and Norway with their 3PL services, and they're using nShift. Reply Logistics, it's a WMS system. They have a solution called Leia Reply, and they're very strong, based in the UK and now expanding into the German market as well. So hopefully we can find a lot of customers together that we can serve and make very happy. Tasty Square is a 3PL based out of Italy. So therefore it's interesting to see that our partners find us and get support from us in new territories that we can service them with, because we happen to have all carriers that are connected in those territories as well. We've done more on the partner front, especially on marketing and events, and therefore I'd like to welcome to the floor my dear colleague, Yu Chan.
Thank you, Jochen. Bear with me as I take control of the mouse.
It's working.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm Yu Chen, Head of Regional and Partner Marketing. Thank you so much for joining today's briefing. Some of you I've met in person or virtual before, and I really look forward to continuing our conversations. And I also look forward to making connections with those I haven't met before. At nShift, we are continually growing and evolving as a company, and the growth is reflected across many different business areas. You heard from MC, Mary Christine, on professional services. Within the context of marketing, there are 4 key areas I'd like to share today: the nShift brand, our website, our campaigns, and the ecosystems. Within the brand, our brand is evolving to reflect the leadership we bring to the delivery space. I think it's looking fresher, it's looking clearer, and I think it's much more aligned with the forward momentum and energy of our business. And these brand elements are reflected across many different parts of our website, in our identity, in our messaging, in the way that we talk about what we do and our mission. At the same time, our website is improving in a very practical way. It's much more structured, it's much more easier to navigate, it's user-friendly. If you haven't noticed any of these changes, I really invite you to visit our website after today's session, and I promise there will be more great changes to come. Campaigns. We've been running campaigns aimed at our target audiences in the core market to highlight our platform capabilities and also how this is integrated with many business critical systems, thanks to the partners that we have. And these campaigns combines practical guides, thought leadership, and with clear customer value, as you heard from Jonathan Bedford in the first part of briefing, the joint customer value that we are delivering to the space. And finally, our ecosystem. I truly believe that everything we do in marketing is strengthened through the collaboration with you. Together, we create more value, and through marketing, we create more reach, thanks to our partners. So I hope you really feel the positive impact, as well as the energy through working together. And you can see these changes I just talked about coming to life on social media, which is one of the key marketing channels. We're live on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And over the past few months, we have co-created over 100 posts with our partners, reaching over 30,000 people. So I want to take a moment to give a shout out to partners like Aiden, Consay, Prime Horizon, Cheap Cargo. These are the top performing posts from our analytics. So thank you so much for your contribution. And obviously, this is not an exhaustive list because I know many more have contributed. So thank you all for amplifying our share message. It really makes a difference. On the next slide, I want to share with you some of my favorites. I chose those because they're great testimonials. Shout out to Avencia, shout out to Brazil. And look at this fun photo from the Gulf Day. I think this really shows the value of the work that we do together, at the same time capturing the energy of our community. I hope you enjoy seeing those posts as much as I do. Digital campaigns. We have launched a number of new product pages and recently introduced an interactive delivery health check. Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, and it's a quick way for your customers and prospects to identify areas for their growth. And as the industry entering the peak season very soon, from Black Friday, Christmas to the New Year, we will be supporting the merchants with campaigns, webinar, white papers, and practical guides. On the point of coffee chats, it's a short video format interview on industry topics, lasting about 10 to 15 minutes. And I think this is a great opportunity for our partners to showcase your expertise and insight in the industry. So if you're interested, please do get in touch. I think it's a great way to showcase your success. Looking ahead, we have a number of events on the calendar, so come meet us if you're attending some of these industry events. Most notably, our in-person Partner Day in Gothenburg is going to take place on the 13th of November. Invitation will come shortly, and we look forward to seeing as many of you there. It's always energizing to connect face-to-face, and I hope you'll find value in this. Resources. To support you, we have updated the partner portal with our new brand guidelines, new logos, event packs, videos. And the goal is simple. We want you to be able to access the right materials anytime. And we'll be adding more content. So please give me your feedback and on how useful these materials are and what are the things you'd like to receive more. In closing of my part, I'd like to thank you for being here today, for being such an important part of the nShift community. I really believe that our growth and success is built on the collaboration with you. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with me or through the partner managers if you'd like to discuss ideas, explore co-marketing campaigns, or just simply share your initiative. We're here to support you, and I look forward to the success we can achieve together. Over to you, Johan.
Thank you, Yu-Chan, and thank you, Marie-Christine, for both of your contributions. We're getting to the end of our update, partner update. So time for the Q&A. It's been a bit quiet. I've got and received 3 questions so far. So let's dive into those. And if you have more, please drop them at the Q&A. I have to look a little bit to the left because I have the Q&A screen left of the presentation. So I have here a question for MC. What is the project management tool you use the most, and why are you using that?
Yeah, I did mention the tool, but let me give a little bit more explanation of it. So Rike is the tool that we're using. We made a transition from NetSuite, which is traditionally a finance tool, and it does have project management capabilities, but what it was lacking was the standard operating procedures embedded within the work that the consultants were doing. So we found that they were having to switch too often between NetSuite and Teams and email and SharePoint and using templates. So it really was a lot of time wasting. So Rike has all of the capabilities in one place. They log their hours, the invoices are generated from there, the standard operating procedures are in it. It's the project management tool. It also has the collaboration, so you can chat on any task, any project. So we found that really, really useful. Obviously, there are other tools that Write compete with. I know that Monday is is a similar tool, but anyone who wants to talk more about that, I'm more than happy to talk further.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Another question for you, Chan. What tool do you use for your partner portal?
What tool do we use for the partner portal?
Yeah, what's the system behind it?
Oh, it's Hotspot, so it's part of our CRM system. But
Yeah.
if you log on to the portal now, you will find that some of the collections to the content actually comes to nShift Brand Hub, and it's a different system. But I won't reveal. But if you're interested in finding out more in just as marketing exchange, please get in touch.
Yeah, and I think also it's good to mention that if people don't have access to the partner portal, again, drop an email to partnersupport@nShift.com and we can grant you that access to that portal, because there's more to find with regards to roadmaps. And also, I think that was one of the other questions, the marketing roadmap for Q4, is that on the portal as well?
It's on the portal, and I think this is a great briefing is a great way to share with you what's our marketing plan. You can always find where we're going to be on our website through the events page. In terms of campaigns, is always available on our webinar pages, white paper pages. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be launching the peak seasons campaign with a lot of content. We're present at a lot of events. I want to take this opportunity to also mention that we'll be making changes and updates to the partner section of the website, making improvement to the directory, so it's easier for our audiences to locate, identify partners based on the geography, based on the technology, and also highlight partners with certifications.
Thank you for that. I've got a question for myself with regard to the certification pathway. How do I get on that certification pathway? As we mentioned, just drop an email, partnersupport@nShift.com, or myself personally, jerome.terhagen@nShift.com, and we'll get you on that pathway very, very quickly. There might be a little bit of a delay because it takes a process for the team to get you certified. There's a rigorous system behind it, how we're going to do that, but we tell you all more about it if you're interested. Marie-Christine, I see one question for you in the webinar chat. Can you see it, or do you want me to read it out?
Yes, I can see that there. So do you have custom PS implementation? And if yes, what is the project management approach there? Yes, we do have PS custom implementations. And to be honest, the vast majority of what we did was custom implementations. But we found that, you know, everyone is competing for time nowadays, and you need to have the option for going shorter as well. So our standard packages are to give our customers that shorter option. So when we go with custom implementations, we do have project managers, and the project management example that I showed you on the slide just gets more complex. So the Gantt chart view has, within the implementation phase, breakdowns of each of the carriers that we're implementing, and then also there may be dependencies with other teams. So that's one of the other benefits with Write. We've been able to integrate with Jira when we're working with our engineering colleagues. In terms of the project management approach, all of our project managers are either PMI or Axelos Prince certified in project management. They are looking at applying an agile approach as well, but today they follow a traditional PMI or Prince 2 approach to their project management. Hopefully that answers
Perfect.
the question.
I hope it did.
Yeah.
Well, thanks all. I think we come to the end of our session. Really appreciate the time you made available out of your very busy calendars, and I wish you a very successful end of the quarter, and we see each other in Q4 again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.